What up?
What's up, buddy?
How are we?
We are good.
Yeah?
We are good and hurricane-free in Boca Raton.
Yeah, it's up out on the way to the Carolinas. They're already gone by there, right? I think.
Well, it's actually this is a hook. It's hooking into the Gulf as I was saying to you prior to the show. They don't come straight across anymore. It was like, oh, Florida and hurricanes. They hook up.
June bugs.
Yep, they hook up and go to the Carolinas or above, or they go down below the Keys and they come up into the Gulf. They don't come straight across anymore. They haven't for a decade. So, unless you live on the West Coast, which the West Coast of Florida used to be like, they don't bother us.
No, it's more over there now.
It's more over there now. So things change, man. Things change. Cycles change.
No. Climate.
Climate. Yep. Nope.
Nope.
It's not. Remember I don't know if you remember. And again, another thing we were talking about. Your brothers will remember. Back in the 70s, the early 70s, they called it ecology. And it was all about pollution and the ozone layer and all the stuff it was called ecology. This is just everything cycles around. Now they're calling it climate change. Same BS as they were throwing at us in the early 70s. They're doing it now, except everything is on steroids now because of social media and instant access, right? So, yeah, I don't buy it for 1 second. And why are you yelling at us? Look at China and India. If you want to go tell them to stop. Right?
I think
like we're going to make a difference.
I think universal agreement is do better to be clean. That's probably the safest thing to say because that's the right idea. But we have to live too. Our presence creates a problem on the planet. I think that's a known fact. Our presence creates a problem.
The planet it's an organism.
It's a carbon-based.
That's the way I look at it. It's like an organism, and people are like a small cancer to the planet, but it's it's not that bad.
No, well, not yet anyway, and I don't know that it ever will be. But
so what's this picture I'm going to pull up here?
Oh, yeah.
You want me to pull it up?
We've moved. We had the event, and I guess we're going to talk about my Meet the Candidate event.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, now we've moved into kind of a little bit more aggressive phase of campaigning. So I've been getting up early. I need to get up earlier, heading out to the bridge and just waving to people on the way out, on their ways to work.
There you go.
We got music playing, trying to laugh a little bit. And, if people see the two of us giggling, maybe their day will be a little bit better on their way into work.
And who is that?
That is my buddy, John Raffaelli.
There you go.
He's a morning dude. So I get him from about 6 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he's gone. He goes to bed.
All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah. So actually, though, he was there at the event. I guess that's a pretty good segue. We had a nice turnout the other night.
You did.
Had to be close to 50, 60 people there.
Yeah.
It's good numbers.
Everyone I talked to, because I got reports down here in Boca, I would have been there.
Yep.
They all said it was fun. It was well attended. You had a special guest.
Yes.
That showed up. A big gun showed up for you, Todd.
Yes. Yeah, it was my friend of 17 years now, Jeff Turco, state rep, blessed me and came by and wished me luck and through his support, which I don't think, I mean, frankly, I don't think it's a surprise to anybody.
Yeah.
I've been with him since the beginning. The first time I talked to him, I had two questions. We don't need to have that conversation. I had two questions. He answered them exactly the way he needed to for me. And schools was one thing on his agenda. And, we're simpatico on a lot of, I'll say as part of my speech, I talked about my work on the school committee, and Jeff was a big part of that, right? He brought to the school committee legislation, federal legislation. He introduced it to us that basically said, we'll give you money if you make full day kindergarten free. So it put a surplus in our budget, among other things. Did the bus program that we put out, which we took a public a contracted outsourced bus service and we brought it in house. That put about $40,000 back in the budget. We lowered user fees. We settled the contract. We brought back programs. We never laid off a teacher, and we did that. We did that all, and more. Actually, I can't think of it all. So it was nice to have him show up and kind of remind me of the work we did, and the way we worked for the people who pay the taxes. The way we worked like a conduit for the people, for the everyday person, and that's what I intend to bring to the council.
Excellent. And I heard you gave a very good speech. You got all your points across, which, that's not easy, but I heard you did a very good job.
If you're from Winthrop, I think the thing that drove it home for everybody was, I'm a 3-year-old kid, almost 4, when I walk out my front door on 17 Sunnyside for the first time, coming from a back alley house in East Boston where, you don't see kids playing in the street much. You see adults playing half ball in the street every now and again, but this was like a wonderland for me. And, I meet I'm naming all the people on the street that everybody knows, the Matucci's, the Foleys, the people that were the young families at the time. And we're sprinting down the street. Next thing I know, I'm on a beach. I have at the end of my street, I wake up in the morning on Saturday mornings, and then this didn't make it into the speech because I had to truncate it a bit. But, I remember waking up the next day and I'm like, I'm going to go up in the Widow's Peak in my attic, and I could see, the ocean from the top of it's just, and the point being, people like my parents at that, the equivalent level of income today, can't come to Winthrop like the way my family did. It's too hard. It's just too hard.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Winthrop has outpriced itself in that sense.
Yep. I mean, if you're here, we're getting a transient, maybe that's not the right word. I think it is a transient population that's kind of moving into these micro apartments and these small condos as their starting points and their investments, and then moving on, which is, that's kind of how it works. Winthrop just has to kind of figure out how they want to manage that, if at all, and if they even care about it. We'll find out in November.
I was told today that not the person wasn't 100%, but they said that Winthrop gets subsidies from the MBTA for the ferry and the buses based on one of the criteria is that they create 750 new, can't be homes, say living quarters in Winthrop. It's part of the agreement. Now, it's not 100% on that, but if that is part of the agreement, I don't know where they're going to get that. You could take the Sons of Italy in the bank down the center. That's going to be another Sun. What is it? Sunset? No, what's the name
Somerset,
of this? Somerset.
Friend. Somerset.
It's going to be another Somerset, maybe bigger, Maybe bigger.
Quite possibly.
So you take that, then you say they start adding on top of Michael's Mall, right? Do that. Then they go down to Shirley Street, right just past Crystal Cove as you're heading toward the point. Those are all single story. You'll say they stop building on top of those. The owners of those buildings said, hey, I'm going to do the same thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you're still not going to come up with 750. You're not going to come up with 500. You're not going to come up with 200. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So I don't know. And again, that's what somebody said, and they weren't 100%. And if anybody knows anything about that agreement with the MBTA, by all means, let us know. You know? So Marie Murray Martin says 750 dwellings over how much time? I don't think it matters over how much time. They're just not going to be able to fit it.
Well, there was a I don't know where it sits right now, quite frankly. I don't have the time to dig into it at this moment, but there was discussion about a big development up on Winthrop Street, across the street from where the new fire station's going to go.
Yeah.
80 units or something. So, there's that brings you down to what? 670? Nope, I lied.
Yeah. Something to that effect.
670, yeah. Brings you down to 670. So,
well, the bottom line is this. What really is going to happen is that old casket company in Orient Heights, right next to the train station, is getting like 200 units or something, right?
Outrageous.
So think of this. That area at the Heights is already congested in the morning, right? Saratoga meets Bennington, right? That part. So if you add, say, a minimum of 200 cars to that general area, right? So add that on a daily commute, right? Maybe not a commute, but on any everyday use. Now that just throws a giant wrench into the traffic that's already established up there at the Heights. And then you have...
And that's going to back up into Winthrop.
Revere Beach is overdeveloped. So, it's not that uncommon for it to be congested around there in the morning. And then when Suffolk Downs goes, I mean, you're not going to be able to sneak through Beachmont, to get... it's just... Winthrop's getting boxed in. And then they're adding to their own congestion. Like, I don't know if they considered it or if it's legal, but a moratorium on building, again, we've been saying this, 2 years now? A moratorium on building for a little while just to do a study on how the infrastructure is handling everything they already have in Winthrop. Right?
Right.
It's just crazy.
Not well either. I mean, as you know, we're in the midst of fixing a lot of that.
So when does a municipality have a breaking point? Like, what's the breaking point of a municipality like Winthrop it doesn't expand into other towns. Winthrop, it is literally, it's surrounded by water on three sides.
Oh, well, yeah, I was going to ask you, what do you mean by a breaking point? Do you mean density? Do you mean...
at what point do you just say, this is insane now? Like, this is just way out of control. There's way too many people here in this town.
I don't know that we ever get to that point because you can, again, I hate to point to the Somerville, Cambridge area, Medford, Arlington, but they've got more of it. I mean, they have more routes in and out of town.
That's what I mean.
But the craziness they have with the bike lanes in front of the, as you go into Cambridge, passing the Museum of Science, I mean, it's literally this mishmash of white lines. I mean, forget about how you feel about the issue. It doesn't make sense.
If it gets to that point, that just means it is absolutely oversaturated. If it gets to the point of, well, I have to walk because if I drive, it's going to take me, 30 minutes.
I think the point I've been suggesting that I think the point is they're using uncomfort as a tool to encourage less cars. It's not working.
It's not going to work either. It
doesn't work.
Especially in the wintertime.
I mean, if it doesn't work, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't. I mean, the people have to, if they don't have a car and they have to get into the city and they want to go in the winter to the Heights, for some of them, buses aren't going to be an option. Some of them, I mean, I got to, this, by the way, I'm sorry, I got to go off tangent a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
This is too good. Not, and actually, it's not too good. It's too scary. So I sit and in the morning, and I'm waving to the traffic coming out of Winthrop going into East Boston on the bridge. And I'm on the Dunkin' Donuts side looking back. Okay, you got it. As you can imagine, bikes, scooters, not in the numbers of any kind, do come by. When I tell you there were probably, I think there were 4 bikes today, 4 bikes and 3 scooters that came by, which I thought was a lot for today. One of the scooters was Steve Ruggiero. No incident when he went by, but the scooter after him, I didn't recognize the person. She didn't realize how close the side view mirror of the vehicle passing her was to hitting her in the back. And then someone coming up in front of the gas station, zigzagging on their scooter, almost bought it head over. They stopped it just in time, almost hit the front fender of a vehicle and went head over. My point in all this is we are encouraging this craziness. As more and more people are riding these scooters and bikes, someone's going to get licked. It was close twice today. And I this is not a good situation. I don't get it. Anyway.
So how happy was the owner of Adriana's at your meet the candidate night?
Yeah, they had a good night. I don't happy. I know just based upon what I saw, you had
a good crowd, so he must have
good crowd, a lot of wine and a lot of beer flowing.
How about the burgers? Were burgers flying out there?
Well, so here's the thing: when they smoke them, and it takes a little bit longer, so the outside isn't crispy, but the inside's pink, so they're cooked to perfection. Everybody said they were delicious burgers. I think I probably should have done a little bit better job prepping people for gourmet burgers. Take a little bit longer. People are hungry. And
okay. Yeah, it's like I showed up. Where's my bird? It's like it should be waiting for them. Like
it's not McDonald's
wrapped in tinfoil. But the fact that they would have taken that, okay, good for you.
But
good for you.
And they do so. They do it. It's kind of funny. They name some of their burgers like the Big Mac. The veggie burger is vegetables between a bun. I think it's a toasted bun. Veggie burger, no meat. Good. Veggie burger.
Yeah. Because that stuff, that almost meat or whatever, meat, whatever, listen, I say this about that stuff, right? If you're eating that, I'm just going to be brutal on this one. Just straightforward.
Get out of here.
If you're eating that stuff, then you deserve all the cancer you get.
Oh, because that is.
If you're buying into that Bill Gates, then you deserve what you get because that is all chemical. I saw a thing the other day on it's the blood in the cow that makes the flavor, right?
Yeah.
There's a certain chemical in the blood that gives the beef flavor.
Where's the beef?
What's it called? Almost beef or
Almost
something?
Beef brand. Isn't that the brand?
Dude, they design that flavor out of chemicals. They create that flavor of real meat out of chemicals. What are you eating, people? Like, if you're eating that, you deserve everything you get 10 years from now. Don't look back and say, it was this, it was that. No, it was the burgers you were eating. That's just me, though.
Wow.
I could be wrong. I don't think I am. Hey, another victory for Winthrop votes, buddy.
Uh-oh, what am I? Did I miss something?
Maybe you just overlooked it. But from what I'm told, there are now signs down the center saying no dogs on the grass. No dogs on the grass. Somebody called me the other day and said there's signs on the thing that says no dogs. On the cement jungle down there.
I'm gonna put an asterisk on that one.
Okay.
Only because I'm not clear on the memory. I don't remember when I brought it up to Jim if he had said, I think we're already looking into that or not. So in fairness,
I'm not buying. Hey, listen, I like Jim. Right. Jim knows I like Jim. I like Jim. I like him a lot. I like him. We don't always agree, but I like Jim. Listen, he's a politician, dude. Oh, we're working on that.
I don't know.
You tell him I'm calling BS on that. Oh, we're working on that.
Hey, all I know is that, I walked into the store one morning and I remember bringing it up going, there should be a sign there, right?
Yeah.
And I could swear, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form, there was a difference made. The fact that we talked about it spawned me to even walk into the store that day.
That's right.
And say something to him. So you know what? No matter how you or I look at it, it's still a victory.
That's right. We brought it to the attention. We brought it to the forefront.
That's a good
so
point.
I'm claiming victory on that one.
Touchdown.
So no more dogs on that grass.
Oh, those signs have already been ignored.
I'm sure. Yeah. See, imagine that. Like if somebody does that, then they are total a-holes.
Not to digress backwards or regress.
We got plenty of time.
But talk about a-holes. So I'm at the light coming into Winthrop from East Boston. Now, everybody, it's no secret that I get frustrated with people on bicycles because they don't obey the rules of the road. But when you come up on my left and I'm at the stoplight and you're riding on the yellow lines, and you just miss my car, my side view mirror, which has been clipped before by people like that. And then you almost cause an accident taking a left going down to the, what do you call it? Bank Street area.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry. Again, it's just me making another argument, I guess, for the safety of people. Because what person, the guy almost got clipped. What person wants to live with hitting someone on a bike through really no fault of their own?
Right.
I'm sure sometimes it is the car driver's fault, maybe more often than not. But there are occasions where I've seen these near misses. Common sense would tell you that not all of these near misses end in near misses.
Oh, no.
Right?
I don't even call them near misses. They're near hits.
Yeah, that's probably more appropriate.
Near misses. That's like two planes. They always say when two planes, that was a near miss. No, that was a near hit.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a near miss, is there?
That's a near hit. That's just a nice way to make people feel good about it.
Yeah, it's a nice softie.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's
if it helps you sleep
hit.
nice, I guess.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, by the way, there was a fire building committee meeting Tuesday night?
Right.
Monday night, Tuesday night, whatever. I went. I do want to, if people, for everyone who's watching, not watching, will watch someday, be told by someone who watched. If you have questions and or concerns, go. The website's going to be a plethora of information, a myriad, if you will. From the surveys, the site surveys that were done to come to that decision. Like, here's what I learned. They handed out a draft Q&A document. Why not the Little League field? And the answer was very simple. You'd have to build, it's on water, right? It's on a wetland. So you'd have to build it up, and it has two exits, but you build the land up, and then it's a flood zone. So if it floods, you might not be able to get out of there because, it's a wetland. So you're only building the land up to build the building. You can't build the land up anywhere else. So you can't get out. So there's some good answers, I guess, some good information. I think Carol had mentioned that the last time she went, or she was on the show. She's been going. I met her there. Yeah, good information. Go show next Thursday, the 6th, I think, and 7th, whatever it is.
All right. Well, someone just sent me this. There you go.
There it is. No
look
dog.
Look at all the yellow stains around it.
Hey,
look at all the yellow stains around it.
Yeah, that's from dogs.
Yeah. Let me get rid of this. Hold on.
That's not me taking a left up there in the upper right-hand corner, or middle right corner, is it?
Could be. Look at all the yellow stains around it. Look at all the dead grass patches. What do you think that's from?
Yeah, no.
Because dogs mark, and then other dogs come along, and other dogs come along.
No, they don't.
Imagine that.
No, you're lying.
Look at that. They did it. That's a look at that cement. Ugh.
I wish they I wonder why the trees are taking so long. These maples usually grow faster. No,
not that fast. I mean, they are trees, but we'll see.
We'll see. I'd like it because then you won't notice the cement as much. I think it'll look better when the trees are growing.
It would be nice if they had hedges. If they ran hedges in between those trees.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea either. Then you don't see any of the cement.
Yeah, then it just adds, it fills it out. Hey, they're not going to do anything about that cement. Well, look,
you want to run some mango bushes?
Dude, I just had a very big job done, landscaping job done in my house. I learned a lot. It ain't cheap is number one on the top of that list.
It's hot. They got to work hard in the hot.
Yeah.
And they got to get the mangroves out of here.
Oh, jeez. People swear, you think I live in the Everglades.
Swamp thing. What are those hedges? Those hedges around your yard. I like those. What are those? Are those just straight up?
Dude, that's its own ecosystem. So you have ficus hedges, right? They're basically ficus hedges. But there is other types of bushes and vines growing in there. It's definitely its own ecosystem in there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then after the summer's over, I have grackles. I have birds in my backyard. Lots, doves, blue jays, grackles, cardinals, and all sorts of. But the grackles will go inside those bushes. They'll fly right in. You don't see them, but there could be 50 or 60 of them in there just squawking. And it's like a wall of sound.
Oh, really?
You don't see any of the birds. You just hear them.
It's like the tiki room in Disney World.
It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. But those hedges in my backyard, they're like, I don't know, 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
10, 12 feet tall. Yeah. Great privacy and sound, actually.
Sound, I was going to say.
You don't hear anything in my backyard anyways because I'm not near a main street. So there you have it. There's the sign. Let me see. Someone just sent me a text this past Friday. It was Mike Rizzioni Day in Winthrop.
I went down to the ceremony.
Saw the picture. You and Mike. You and Captain America.
Yep, Captain America. Yeah, it was a miserable day, but it was a nice time.
To commemorate that day, the Olympic flag was flown outside the Winthrop Cultural Center on Pauline Street, and the movie Miracle on Ice was played on Winthrop Beach. There you go. Mike Rizzioni with the Massachusetts. Yes. It says in the movie, right?
Ooh, look at this little tidbit that Miss Marie Murray Martin shared.
Oh, hold on. We pull it up.
Shit, let's pull that up.
I got it right here.
Where did we get this information?
To follow up on previous comment, projection is 500 new households by 2030. Thank you very much, Marie.
And how are they defining households? Does that count those micro apartments?
I'm sure they do. Sure they do. They can't define. It's where you live. If there's a bathroom, a bedroom, a closet, and a kitchen, it's a dwelling. It's a household.
Yeah, I mean, right? Let's see if mass law, legal definition of household.
So while you're doing that, this guy Todd Sacco sent me a text at 7:45 saying, "Yo, are we on? Who's this guy harassing me?"
I don't know who you're talking about.
Let's see. We talked about that. So, get into a housing report. Let's see. And it's a link, but the link won't come out on the, yeah. But I can't pull that up on the screen.
Oh, that's a snap. Okay, so Section 361-200 household concept definition. Oh, hold on. 106 Massachusetts Regulation 361.200. Basically, they're calling it a SNAP household, an individual who lives alone, an individual living with others who purchases food and prepares meals separately, a group of individuals. So guess what? Doesn't matter the dwelling. It's all about, from a legal perspective, they're counting them based upon the fact someone can live there. So
all right.
I think you'd be correct that 500 new households would include those micro.
Oh, it has to, because you can't put 500 houses in Winthrop.
No, there's no room. There's just no room.
I don't think you can put 100. I don't think you could put 50 houses in Winthrop if you tried. You know?
So let's talk about that for a second, because one of the pillars of my campaign is responsible development. And one of the things I mentioned that night was that it's never, people throw that phrase around, but don't really put meat behind it. And I gave my definition, and I thought I'd share it and see what you think. And I think if we're on the same page here. To me, responsible development means, at a bare minimum, and based upon where we are today in Winthrop, we already have a behemoth apartment complex down the center. I don't see how you stop that. I don't see how you slow that. But I don't think we do that in neighborhoods. I don't think we need 6, 8, 12, 15 unit places, 20 unit places in neighborhoods where you're going to have transient type people who like to live in those micro places, those small multi-unit buildings, like the anonymity of city and urban life. Why even invite it in a neighborhood? You want children and families to grow
Right.
there, to enrich the neighborhood. The neighborhood gets enriched. The thing about where I live, and I'll never forget it, Frankie Cavalieri, God rest his soul, was my first neighbor here when I moved in on my right. And he said, "We've lived here for a long time. This is supposedly the best street because this is the street, one of the few streets where you have the real cycles of life continuing, because we only have one multifamily house, right? So you see there's always 30, 40 kids that live in or around the immediate area. There's always families in here. We only have one rental unit, and right now it's got a very nice family living in both units. I don't know where they're from. Their English is tough. I think they're from Guatemala, but really nice people. But they don't participate really because they don't communicate easily with us. So they kind of keep to themselves. But anyway, we're lucky that they live there, because usually it's not people that want to be involved.
Yeah.
Is my point.
Yeah. Yeah. So today was the first day of school.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go again, right?
Not in Winthrop.
Not in Winthrop. Okay. All right. When's Winthrop's first day?
Teachers are back.
Teachers are back. So I'm curious as to if the superintendent and the principal of the middle school are going to be proactive, like they weren't last year, in basically putting their thumb on activist teachers who last year decided to ask children on the very first day of schools what's their preferred pronouns, which is absolutely, again, ridiculous to ask a child that. And they see no problem with it. Here we go again with going after minors and trying to impress on them your agenda, because kids are impressionable, and that's how they figured this out. Let's go after the young kids. Middle schoolers mostly.
The question, since we brought up middle school, the question there is, we need to have a look at the updated handbook. They voted on it. I don't know. I should have looked to see while we're chatting. I'll see if they actually put it out yet on the website.
Yeah. So that's a thing. Does the state mandate the pronoun question?
Probably. No, I doubt it. Actually.
I don't see how. Yeah, I think you would have known about that.
It's a good question.
Yeah. Again, it shouldn't even be a question asked of kids. How was your summer? Right? You're looking forward to a new school year? Yeah. No. So what's your preferred pronoun, Stevie? One parent told me that their child might get sent home because if they get asked what's your preferred pronoun? The kid's going to say masculine.
Oh my God.
Oh, they won't like that.
Oh.
No, they won't like that. But parents beware. Parents beware. The questions are coming, and the statements, don't tell your parents. You don't have to tell your parents. Your parents don't have to know. You can trust me. It's all coming. It's all coming. So I posted something about it on Facebook, and someone said, why does that question scare you? I said, the question doesn't scare me. It's a grooming question. That's not what scares me, though. What scares me is the activist teacher going after the minor. You know? That's what's scary. They have no bottom. They really have no bottom. And, well, it's up to the parents to bring attention to this. But we're going to be watching it all school year. And let's see what happens. Are they going to have their bulletin board up again?
It's too old.
What are you looking for?
So this is interesting. I just found the 2017, 2018 middle school dress code.
Totally different.
Well, I'm going to do that. Hold on. Where did it go?
So Marie Martin says in Broward County, Florida, it was the distance learning it was on. Yeah, well, Broward is it's about the only liberal county in South Florida. It's the most liberal county in South Florida. So I'm not surprised with that.
So do you remember how many sentences the dress code was? The latest one that we read?
It was like 2 paragraphs.
Okay.
So say, 8 to 10 sentences.
This thing is much longer. Actually, students are expected to dress appropriately for professional learning environment. Clothing was blah, blah, blah.
It was exactly like the high school and the elementary school before. And then all of a sudden the middle school changed. Because that's what I've been saying. They're zeroing in on middle school students. They're the most impressionable. And they're also minors.
Parent. That's Gorman Ford Banks.
Hey, what are you looking up? You trying to find the dress code?
Yeah. In the middle school. This is the high school. Nothing's easy.
So what's her name again? The superintendent?
Lisa Howard.
Lisa Howard.
Yep.
I hope she's on top of it this year. Oh, we'll be saying her name a lot.
In the end. Yeah, whatever. Winthrop Public Schools.
Well, either way, we'll find it.
Yeah, we'll find it.
So I heard, moving on from the Parents Beware segment of the show. How did I record myself? There was a pretty contentious appeals board meeting recently. And that spread around town like wildfire.
Yes, there was.
About the guy on Bartlett Road, we're not saying any names, that wants to change his basement into a bed and breakfast type thing. And, he evidently came in and tried to bully the whole room, and as it was told to me, and he bullied Darren Beard.
No way.
Yeah, imagine that. And none other than my buddy Jack Dowd stood up at the end and basically questioned Beard and said, you tell everybody at the beginning of the meeting to be respectful and, stay in order, and, and this guy goes up there and just starts basically mean mugging the whole room. Evidently he's a big dude, right? Mean mugging the whole room, glaring at people, yelling at David. He doesn't do a thing. And when Jack calls him on it, he basically says, well, there's a seat for you here, if you want. When Jack said, I wouldn't take that position if you paid me. Plus, Jack has done a lot for this town. From Little League, he's been doing it for decades. He's dedicated his time to this town. So you can never take that away from him. That guy, Summer League, reffing those games.
Oh, he reffed the basketball.
He reffed them. Yeah. Played in them. He's on the tree committee, the whole thing. Jack's done a lot for this town over the decades. very quietly, like another friend of mine, Sean Donahue, very quietly has given a lot of his time to the kids of the town of Winthrop. Doesn't ask for anything. And it's just one of those things. It's admirable that people like that live in that town. They've lived there their whole lives, and they give back to that town. Give back to the town and the kids, and they care about the well-being of Winthrop, like you, just like you.
Just like you.
Being sarcastic? I'm trying to praise you, buddy.
No, not at all.
You don't take compliments well?
No, So I don't self-promote well, and people were like, a few people said to me, "What are you talking about?" It's hard, right? Like it's hard to give a speech, I guess, and so I always try to tell stories or something just to distract and put the I don't like having the spotlight on me, believe it or not.
So at the end of that little tit for tat with Jack Dowd, the sniper, patient like a plant, pays attention to everything silently, right? Evidently, Mr. Beard gave his resignation, saying, in a sense, when I'm done with this term next June, I'm done.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for a while, so I can't say I blame him.
Yeah. Yeah. So that, from what I was told, leaves, let's see, 4 seats are opening up.
I think Mark Chapdelaine is on that now, isn't he? The appeals board? Because
I don't know.
Yeah, he was the one. So I talked to him about that, and he had, he opposed it too. And I guess
a lot of people did. Joe Aiello lives right next door to the guy.
Well, he didn't oppose it.
Who, Joe? I heard he did.
Oh, no, he did. Yeah, he did.
Of course he did. Yeah. Well, everybody in the neighborhood did.
I found it interesting, by the way, because he had very different tones about Airbnbs and bed and breakfasts in other town council meetings.
Well, what have I said? Until it's in your neighborhood, everybody supported BLM and Antifa until it comes into their neighborhood, and then they don't support it anymore. Yeah. Not everybody, a particular group of people. But once it comes into their neighborhood, whoa, time out. Just like the governor of Massachusetts said they should open up your houses to these illegals being busted in from Texas and Florida, right? And I challenged all the screaming liberals in Winthrop. Now's your chance. Put up or shut up.
I know that you
open your doors. You got a room. You got a basement. You got an attic.
They were literally asking for people to take on.
Of course, people like Tracy Hone and
we don't know. Isn't it? Don't they keep it private? How would we be able to find out?
They won't, dude. I would bet a year's pay. They're not doing it.
Well, there's certainly.
Is Leonora Foley opening her house? Like to know. If she is, I'll give her all the credit. Oh, I forgot Leonora Foley. She, her, as she likes to be called. She, her. All of them. Open your doors. Bring them in. They won't. Put up or shut up, and it sounds like they're shutting up. But maybe I'm wrong. Prove me wrong, I guess. Isn't that what they say? Prove me wrong.
I don't know that. Okay. Is it even possible to do?
I don't know.
They'd have to come on and talk to you.
Yeah, well, if the governor says you can do it, then they can do it, damn it. Winthrop be damned. I wonder if they get subsidized for that.
And it was interesting. So I didn't see it, but I got to watch it back. I guess it was zoomed. I probably we should have watched it back for the show, because I would suggest from my understanding, the rhetoric that Mr. Aiello was using to oppose was very much something you'd expect a label to be thrown at him for. Like I would get yelled at for, you'd expect me to say those things.
So evidently this individual in Bartlett had actually said, "You're lucky I don't fill the house with immigrants." Like he kind of threw that at them.
Yep.
But in a way, he has a point. He's like, so, what do you're all about it until it happens. You know, you're all about saying no, no, no. Oh, yes, 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 yes. See, that's where they're hypocritical. Then it comes to Winthrop. It's like, no, no, whoa, 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 wait a minute. It's like Martha's Vineyard. Winthrop is like Martha's Vineyard, right? And the North Shore. Winthrop is the Martha's Vineyard of the North Shore. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. Bring in the National Guard. Get them out of Winthrop.
Is it really like Martha's Vineyard?
Well, you know.
That was the appeals board meeting, right? You said?
That was the appeals board meeting, yeah.
You remember
there's 4 seats opening up there.
Remember the date?
It was was it a week ago?
Okay, so.
Maybe a week ago?
All right, let's just do it like this. Okay. Board of Appeals, calendar, agendas, Board of Appeals, calendar.
Trying to find that on the website?
Yeah. Well, maybe I should go to YouTube.
Good luck.
Yeah, this website's hopeless, honestly.
Yeah.
But I know it's around somewhere. Oh, wait, you know what? Probably not on YouTube. It's June 27th, June 6th, August 7th, view all.
If it would be a great show next week.
Yeah, you're right.
Evidently it was crazy.
Well,
it got a little crazy in there.
Yeah. I think we can get a copy of it. We'll worry about that next week.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one to see.
Sure.
Right? For sure. Like, just for entertainment value anyway. Yeah.
Well, you had said the same thing. You don't want an Airbnb next door to you.
I mean, I don't. I don't. So I would appeal it. And if I lost, I'd live with it, but I'd appeal it. I wouldn't want one next to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't look, I'm a good neighbor. You know, I would not like it if someone put an illegal apartment in their place, but I wouldn't rat them out. I wouldn't.
It was last Thursday.
Yeah.
It was last Thursday. Yeah, we'll try to find it this week. Play it next week. The best of. Yeah. Which is evidently from the second this dude walks up to the microphone
to the end
till he's done. We could just sit back and let that be the show next week.
So you know, I mean, this will be 2, right? We'll have had a couple of good clips from non-town council meetings. We had the Board of Health, you know.
Yeah.
The crow eating contest.
Yep.
And this guy going bonkers.
That's it.
Wow.
All right. Well, what else you got? You got anything else?
You
don't always have to hit an hour.
No, we don't. We talked about the fire building committee. We talked about we talked about the campaign. We talked about the night. We'll talk about next week when next week happens. Oh, I did want to update you anyway. We did. So Max did submit papers. I don't know how many signatures have been verified, but
who?
Max Tassinari, my competitor.
All right.
I want to say if anyone's watching from his camp, I've asked Winthrop WCAT. I've sent a couple of texts, haven't heard. I'll keep trying. If there's not going to be a presidential race, perhaps he'd be open to a debate. And if WCAT won't take it on, he can pick the moderator or 2 of the 3, and we'll do it right here on Winthrop Votes too.
I'll be more than glad to just sit back and mute myself and let it go.
You might be the 3rd moderator because I get to
facilitate
pick 1. I get to pick 1.
Yeah,
if he's interested.
Yeah, I mean it's a good challenge. Listen, people, it's Councilor at Large. Todd's lived in Winthrop 50 years?
51 to be exact.
This guy's lived in Winthrop for how long?
2.5, 3.
And we've already seen what new residents coming into Winthrop want to do to Winthrop and what they're already tried to do. Look at Julia Pringles Wallace. Look at what she did. She wreaked havoc trying to change Winthrop into California. You know? Let me see. Someone just sent me do you know anyone else that submitted papers? Or any positions?
Yeah, so Suzanne Swope from the school committee is now going to be running for precinct 6, I believe.
It's an open position, right?
Yeah, that's Flockhart, and she's done.
Unopposed so far, right?
Yep. So far, we have Munson versus Kurt, and there could
be a third.
There could be a third in that race, so sit tight on that one, which will really make it interesting. Precinct 2.
What area is Precinct 6, by the way?
So the Highlands is split up into 2 precincts. The one, I get the numbers confused. So if you look at Highlands from like where the Arms Hotel is over and down by the Seal Harbor and such, I believe that's 4. And then 6 is on the other half, which goes out towards Revere. Down,
okay.
Or vice versa, And it, by the way, it goes back to Martucci lives on Taylor Street over by where the White Hen used to be. Now it's what, a 7-Eleven or something?
I guess, yeah. It'll always be the White Hen to me.
Yeah, well, and then the Cumbies is across the street there. So that's all part of 6 or 4. It's, and then over on Locust Street is part of, you lived in, so you were either 4 or 6.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. We think if you live in Precinct 6 and you're interested and you don't want somebody to run unopposed, and it's something you feel good about and you want to give it a shot, I suggest you give it a shot.
So we're gonna walk the walk, right? Our guy is the council president right now. The guy that I wanted to win as council president, he's running unopposed. Someone should, running unopposed. We don't like unopposed races.
Yeah. Nobody should ever run unopposed.
4 and 6 are unopposed. What else? 4 and 6 and the council president are unopposed. As is, no, that's Ruggiero. That's correct. No,
Somebody sent me a chart, and it showed all the past elections and how many people were running unopposed.
Oh, it was 80-something% of the races have been unopposed. It's sad.
It's great. And then Tracy Honan ran unopposed.
Yes, she did.
And then all of a sudden, when she gets somebody that's going to run against her, she's like, well, I can't do this anymore. I'm just too busy. Well, you weren't too busy, what? When you started running. You weren't too busy when you wanted to read your diatribe on January 6th that was all wrong, into record at a town council meeting. She wasn't too busy then. She just didn't want to deal with an opponent, which shows that she was a weak candidate the whole time. If someone backs out because somebody's running against them, what does that tell you about that person? Right?
But they don't want to work. At the very least, they don't want to be in the race. They don't want
to put the time in to really stand up for something. Anybody can just stroll in. Nobody should ever run unopposed. I'm sorry.
Unopposed.
No one should run unopposed. Even if you just throw your hat in the ring and you don't really do it, just give them an opponent. But you might find out you want to make change in the town, so that's your best way to do it.
That's it.
So
all politics starts at the local level, buddy.
That's it, man. That's it.
That's it. If you like it, share it. If you like me, vote for me in November.
Todd Sacco will be the first politician in Winthrop history to be available to the entire town on a weekly basis for at least an hour every week. No politician in Winthrop has ever done it. No town councilor, no selectman when we had them. The town manager doesn't do it. The town council president doesn't do it. Todd, you get these councilors that do this coffee with the councilor, once every 6 months or something to say, I did something. They don't do it. They don't do it. And they don't promote it. You have a little meeting here and there. Todd is available to the entire town, literally, every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. You got a problem, you watch the show, you call Todd. He might not give you the answer you want, but he's accessible. And no other politician. You don't even have to leave your house. Exactly. Just get on the phone. I might have to figure out a new phone system.
I'm ADA compliant.
What's that?
I'm ADA compliant to a degree.
Yeah.
We are ADA compliant.
We only have one line, so it would be about a lot of questions. You can type in your question. You don't have to call the show.
Yeah.
But you vote for Todd, you're getting a politician for the town, a councilman for the town that is accessible, literally. Literally, you can come in and then leave. Ask your question for the 5 minutes it takes to answer it or less, and then just sign off. Go scroll more through Facebook. But I'm telling you, voting for the right guy, the only guy that puts himself out there to the town every week. We've been doing this. This is episode number 95, 93, 94, 95. You know, we're not going anywhere. Todd's going to be here. He's not going to duck and duck. Well, holidays, we might take a night off or two. But actually, we have taken holiday time off, but moved the live stream to like a Thursday. You know, so we don't skip all the time. But I'm telling you, people, Todd is the right guy to vote for. No, if another politician, another councilman puts that out there, I want to know about it because I don't think they will. You know, I don't think they will.
I don't see it coming, my brother. So.
Don't see it coming. And if they do, then hey, listen, then we made the change. They did it because of us. And once again, another victory for Winthrop Votes.
Winthrop Votes, undefeated.
Forcing other politicians in Winthrop to do exactly what we're doing. Right?
Yeah, let's hope. I mean, this is what it's all about. We want
that's what it's. We would not take it as competition. We take it as, hey, that's a compliment because we broke the glass ceiling on accessibility to a councilman. Right? There's no stopping that. We're going to keep doing this. But Todd's the guy to vote for. I'm telling you, you won't get this from another politician in Winthrop. You won't get it.
And Marie, you are correct. We do need more Winthrop residents in here, meaning Winthrop Votes. So invite them, share, direct them, ask them, beg them, plead with them. That's what we do.
So we get the live stream. It's 8:00 on a Tuesday night. The live stream, Marie, is it's good. It gets the message out, but it's the after views on live streaming. So live streaming isn't really gauged like television is. The live, the view-ins at the time. It's the after views, and we average a couple 100, 300 a week after views. So it gets out there. People do watch this. It's just, they don't maybe have time at 8:00 on a Tuesday night. But that's the best time for me and Todd. So, we do see, and we do get roughly 13,000 people now. This is a record. These last 60 days, we just broke our last record of 11,000 and change. We now at 12,700 and something individual views over a 60-day window. That's a lot of unique people coming onto the page. They're not obviously all clicking on the videos, but they're engaging in some of the content. And we've tried to tighten it up over the past 93 episodes. We didn't know what we were doing at first, and we had a tendency to go on rants and maybe scared some people away. But we're trying to mature. We're trying to grow the show up. We can still rant, but it was just all finding our way to the point where we had Todd's campaign manager, she's a Democrat, right? She's liberal to moderate, she says. She used to turn us off. She'd readily admit I turned it off. Because she didn't, we would go on these rants. And then she said, well, one episode she just gave us a chance and she actually learned something. When we're good, we're very good. When we're bad, we're rotten. Isn't that like what they say? Right?
The extremes.
Yeah, and she actually started watching, then she got involved. She got involved with Todd's campaign. She's his campaign manager. So the show does work. It's just up to us. And listen, it could be a mood thing too. It's live. There's no editing here.
Right.
Like this time after the show's over, Todd and I don't touch this show. So we make mistakes. And we are passionate about what we talk about. Like the schools and the activist teachers. I will never back down from that. If that turns people off, well then that's on them, but it's not right. It's just not right.
It's not right.
And we have a whole school year to go with people that are going to contact us about what's going on inside that school. So more content coming. But again,
more content.
Todd will be the most accessible town councilor / politician in Winthrop history. Just keep that in mind in November when you're voting. Who do you want? A guy that's lived in Winthrop for 2.5 years, right? Who doesn't really know the town, like Todd knows the town, lived there for 53 years, who's given his time to that town. And who are you going to vote for? I think it's pretty simple based on that. And Todd's doesn't do this because he's like, I got nothing else to do. He does it out of the passion. Just why we do this show. You know, just why we do this show. Because we love Winthrop.
We love Winthrop. No doubt.
All right. So you already said all politics starts at the local level, right?
Yep.
Now I'm done with my rant about Todd being the most accessible future politician in Winthrop history. And I will say, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you like it, share it. If you don't like it, well, thanks for watching for the last hour. We appreciate your time. And, you know, like I always say, you are the engine that runs this machine. Without you, it'd just be me and Todd, you know, rambling at each other. And, well, we do that often. Well, not as often as we used to. Todd's busy now.
I'm a busy man.
Todd ghosts me most of the week.
Oh, you're feeling like
Trust me. I send him texts. I don't get replies. He doesn't reply to me. I'm just a producer here. Treats me like I'm just a producer. He's moving on to the big time and he's leaving me behind. And I don't like it. I don't like it.
I'll give you a hug when I see you.
You better. You're coming down in September.
Yeah, that's right. Be down for the Patriots game.
All right, buddy. We'll see everybody next week.
Yes, sounds awesome.